Welcome to your ears, the Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn. And you're stinky.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys. Just some boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. I am Patrick Basketball, and I actually never really had a dinosaur phase. That doesn't mean I dislike dinosaurs, but I never really had a dinosaur phase.
Damn. Well, I'm John Gilardi, and I certainly did have a dinosaur phase. And if you want to talk dinosaurs, feel free. I will be there.
Listen, I'm here to listen. Again, I don't
Not you, the audience.
Okay, well, I mean, I could also. I'm just interested in knowledge, but I never had like the obsessed like dinosaur phase that it feels like a lot of people.
Yeah, Jurassic Park was huge for me. I had all sorts of toys. Like I had a huge bin just full of dinosaurs. I still have it. I'll take it home with me.
Okay, yeah.
From my mom's, because she has everything stored there. But now that I'm moving into a place that has more storage, I'll be able to take everything.
Yeah.
That is mine and ever has been.
Let me get my stuff.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. So dinosaur toys.
Dinosaur toys. Today we're gonna be talking about dinosaur toys. We're gonna be talking about Dinosaur.
The Disney classic.
The Disney classic.
Starring Alamar.
I
think that's his name. He's raised by monkeys.
Oh, yeah. Today we're going to be talking about another Netflix entry as a streaming takeover continues on.
In a row.
I know. An animated movie about the PG-rated takeover of the planet by robots created by their own hubris. With some kick-ass voice talent, Abby Jacobson, Maya Rudolph, Danny McBride, Beck Bennett, Oscar winner Olivia Colman, Fred Armisen, and Blake Griffin.
Danny McBride.
I said Danny McBride.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I said it was overshadowed by Oscar winner Olivia Colman, but it was there, I promise. And a cool animation style from the team that brought us into the Spider-Verse. Here comes a soft dystopian family drama about following your dreams and supporting your family and trying new things that are old, that are new. Things. The Mitchells versus the Machines. Ding, ding, ding. Round one, fight.
So I like this movie a lot.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I'd say huge recommend. So go watch it, then come back for the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously with everything, I feel like as this is 57 or 56 or whatever episodes deep, if you're coming and hanging out with us, you know what it is. Just some boys spoiling movies. Yeah, going right
Welcome to Stinky Popcorn Boys, or boys spoiling movies.
Boys spoiling movies. This movie, it's fun. It hits good. Synopsize this movie for us a little bit.
Didn't you just do that?
Sort of.
Oh, so it's the Mitchells. They're kind of they're semi-dysfunctional team, dysfunctional family. They're struggling with their identity individually and as a group. And it's I
fucking love this dog.
Yeah, so there's a family. There's husband and wife and a son and a daughter, and then a weird dog named Munchie. Yeah, and basically, daughter is artsy, and the
main conflict is the daughter's artsy and the dad is naturey.
Yeah, and they conflict, like old versus new, and so they never really they've had a hard time connecting as she grew into more of who she is.
Yeah.
And he's staying who he is. And their relationship just isn't great, and he doesn't understand what she does, so he has a hard time supporting it and understanding it. And we come to find out he also is he's trying to keep her dreams level, because his dreams were never met, and he doesn't want her to feel what he felt.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like trying to sabotage her from ever getting off the ground, I guess, which is kind of fucked up and selfish. But anyways, so that's the story, and in the process, the backdrop is a robot apocalypse, and the whole robot kind of apocalypse is an allegory for like kind of too much, like paying too much attention on our screens and losing our connection with family, and like just using technology for stupid trivial shit.
Yeah, which I will say is like I'm kind of tired of it. It's kind of like it feels easy now.
Yeah.
Like I get it. And I think that one of the things too is that.
But do you think it's something that needs to be hit over the head of like children who are living in who only know
I
this
guess
world.
that's a good point that I didn't think about. Again, I'm viewing it through my eyes because I'm a selfish person and not necessarily what the target audience is. Because it's like, yeah, hey, maybe connect with your family. Maybe don't have your phone around so much, and and then also, I think too. Ah, fuck! I didn't even think about that until just now. Is like also the fact that she does her stuff and uses technology to create. Is like, hey, that's what you could be doing it for, and like that, like if you're doing that, like that's chill as hell.
Yeah,
but playing Fortnite or dicking around doing whatever you're doing,
trying to live a fake life or get the likes.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Or
the fact that
swiping and just being trivial with it.
The fact that she's doing something a little bit like focusy or like that's.
She's using technology, but she's bettering herself or doing something creative.
Yeah.
She has a finished product, even if it doesn't go anywhere. She's still creating, which is a gift to yourself and to others, and whatever. It's
but
a
I wonder.
thing.
I wonder too if it's like a little bit like telling a cigarette smoker to stop smoking. Where it's like, yeah, I know that I'm like getting lost in my phone or whatever. But I guess you should always be like, hey, by the way, cigarette smoker, stop smoking.
Yeah,
it's bad for you. I know you know. It's okay.
It's like it's weird though, because I feel like I've grown out of needing to be on technology all the time. I guess if that makes sense. I don't know if I've grown out of it, but like I don't know, anywhere from it wasn't like accessible and as integrated in my life until maybe 16.
Yeah,
and I'd say 16 to 24. I was always in front of the screen, whatever, blah blah blah. But then when I don't know, like I go out. And I don't look at my phone the whole time I'm out with people. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or if I'm out golfing, I don't touch my phone. And,
yeah.
And golfing's a slow-paced thing, even if it's social and slow. But I think, I'm there. I'm in the moment. I'm hanging out. I'm focusing, hanging out with people.
Yeah. But I think too that's our era. That's what we have now become the old people.
Yeah, I mean that's becoming more and more evident.
Where it's like
the fact that
I don't need to look at my. I've done it, especially because it is like I too got my phone when I was like 6. I got my first phone when I was 15 or 16, and it was a flip phone, obviously. Yeah. Because that was a time it had a little button that flipped it open.
Ooh.
I did that
like
too
a
much.
Switchblade.
I broke the. Yeah, it was like, and it like flicked open. But it was also one of those like, it very much looked like someone's work phone.
Yeah.
It wasn't cool. It wasn't a razor. It didn't have colors. It was just
a brick.
Exactly what it needed to be, and it had a button that flipped open. And I absolutely broke that button. But I didn't get that, and then I was just thinking about how many different iterations. We never did Friendster, but we've done MySpace.
Yeah.
I saw one of the original YouTube icons for the phone. Like where it was,
it
like
was
a
like
little
the TV.
old TV.
Yeah, which was a weird decision.
And then or like the old Instagram where it was like that like anthropomorphized camera.
Yeah, that was weird too.
Well, but also like they made sense
that made a lot more sense. That made more sense than the YouTube one.
Yeah, but it was like I just remember how just like I remember those beginning things.
You were there in the beginning.
I was there in the beginning.
Yeah.
And now it's gone through so many iterations and through so many changes. Like,
well, the big players are here, more or less.
Yeah, the rise and fall of Tumblr.
Yeah,
and the rise again or whatever.
I'm confused with the whole Tumblr thing.
I thought it ceased to exist.
I thought it ceased to exist, and then the users kind of like.
We're kind of still. Hello.
Yeah, I'm back. I guess
still
I'm back.
Here.
Yeah.
We never left.
I mean, I don't know. I've asked Tumblr users before about it, and I still don't get it, and I still never understand why they came back to it after the boycott.
There was a boycott?
Yeah, I don't even understand what the boycott. I just never looked into it. And I never got the same answer twice. I don't. It's probably simple. I don't know. I'm just ignorant. I never was on Tumblr, so I guess I'm not emotionally invested.
I tried.
In finding out.
I tried to be on Tumblr, but that's the thing for me. With a lot of these things is like I tried to be on Vine, but I guess from like because that's not the way that, like, if I had been 11 and been on Vine or whatever, it would have made sense to me. But because of, like, even at like 20, when I was like on Vine, I was like, I don't like this. This doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
You know, it also could have been because my fucking phone service was shitty. And so, like, stuff
you
wouldn't
wait for them to
load.
Yeah. Do you get TikTok? Like, do you get entertainment?
TikTok's so easy.
Yeah.
TikTok's so easy. That's the, like, it's a really funny thing is I saw a Vine compilation on TikTok, which is just a funny, where it's like you have like an app that has taken a compilation of a thing that it is like, that it is bettered.
Yeah.
It's like the grown up, it's like the 2 point, like the 3 or 5, like the 10.0 of fucking Vine is what TikTok is.
It's eating it.
And it has eaten it, and now it's got a Vine compilation. And so in that, Vine stays alive on TikTok, but then also, like, there's like another thing where it's like, where are the Vine compilations from? They're from either Twitter or they're from fucking YouTube. So, like, the proliferation of that onto TikTok, it's just like, it's so fucking fun and weird. And I have like a thing where just like how they've sort of in this movie they try to kind of integrate sort of like the memes into the movie.
Which I appreciate, like the Gibbon thing.
Yeah.
I think that set the tone real quick for the quirkiness of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot heavily and fast and early, but I was like, all right, I can expect some, like, kind of, like, I don't know, just out there jokes.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, their whole, so the mom's concerned about having the perfect picture, as moms do, I guess. And she has all the photos, and there's always something wrong in the photo. They're a mess or whatever. And then he's like, oh, but that one's good. And she's like, that's just the stock photo that came with it. And it's like a real family and looks like a real stock photo.
Yeah.
And there's also,
I did love like the sort of multimedia aspect, or the multimedia aspect of this thing, where they like pulled from many different, where it's like, yeah, sometimes they had like an actual person, or sometimes they sort of like switched art styles, or they had like, because a lot of it was about like creation and like the thing of creation and like how you pull from different sources or whatever with like Katie's stuff. And it was cool to have them play with that. I think one of the things that sort of bothered me, but it also could be because I'm an old man, is I didn't love the integration of the meme stuff. I like sort of liked it, but also anytime that because it's been a couple times, like anytime that you have like a big...
Is this the old man in you fearing, like, is this what movies will become?
No. Well, I think that it's more of like a student of the internet, where it's like anytime that you get to a big media thing where you are injecting that sort of like meme internet culture into it, you're scraping the cream, and it's already, by the time that you are getting it and putting it in your movie, because it has to be so accessible, it is not like
it ages.
It's either age, but it's also just like it's not a meme. It's like, hey, this is an interpretation of a meme, or this is an interpretation of a thing that is and that's like a definitional thing, where it's like maybe maybe that's just me, but it's like it's not quite. I don't know. It's like it doesn't hit the same way, because that's one of the cool things with memes or whatever, is that it's like this shared language where it's like one thing that someone makes a joke off of, and then we build on it. But in order to put it in this sort of format, you have to, all those layers that have been built on top of it, because that's one of the cool things about TikTok is like, or TikTok or like anything where it's like sort of that like, I think it's called Dadaism or whatever, where it's like you build on top. There's one joke, and then you build on top of it, and then there's the failure of the joke that somebody else made, or the failure of the thing that then someone else built off of, and you go down all those like rabbit holes until there's just like a picture of a frog that is overexposed, and he says fucking cheese please,
and you know what I mean,
and it's like it's fucking, oh my gosh, that's so fucking good. But in order to like have it be accessible, you have to, and you kind of, I don't know. It's just like a weird art form that I think is really cool.
Exclusive to the internet, maybe. Is what you're saying?
I think so. I think that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I have a point necessarily.
Well, I think it works in this, like the Gibbon meme. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a funny internet video, but it's not like I think it works.
It's not happening now.
Yeah,
I guess is.
Yeah, like, and it didn't have to happen. Like, it could have been just something completely contrived for this, and it
Yeah.
works. And I love the chaoticness of it, honestly.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's definitely an old man of me that like the crazy, fast, loud, kind of relentless, chaotic shit.
Yeah.
Like, that gets to be annoying.
I fucking
Fast
love that
for me,
dog.
but this movie does it well and it's paced out well and doesn't get old.
And I think too, I didn't recognize, which is kind of funny, but I didn't recognize the fact that this movie was for kids. Like, and
That's
I
good.
think that I did. I mean, I think that I did, but I think that in my like sort of like analysis, and as I was like thinking about it, it was like, because then that stuff is accessible and is easily understood, and it's like it's kind of like the picture books or like Captain Underpants, or like very much like one of those like coming of age comic books. And I think this probably is a comic book, I think, or is it original?
I don't know.
Because that's one of the things that I really did like was going back to this animation style that's like
It's 3D with
hand-drawn, but 3D.
I really liked it. It kind of something that comes to mind is like Benny the Ink Machine.
Yeah.
But just less stylized, but in that kind of similar style.
Yeah. But the shade, like, I don't know, it was really cool to see it.
Yeah, I know the movie looks great. The just general, like, the overall style is awesome. Very much in the spirit of being something fun to look at, as Spider-Verse was.
Yeah.
Obviously a little bit less stylized, but very, very much still in its own way. And then the little like kind of 2D, kind of like graphics over the top and stuff. Like, that's awesome. That looks great.
Yeah, I did like that.
It just, there's always something to look
Like
at.
the comic book Kapows a little bit, or like her like having the storm clouds over her.
I don't know if that's in Scott Pilgrim, but it kind of, or even
It
Napoleon
is.
Dynamite kind of. I don't think it's in Napoleon Dynamite, but
it isn't Scott Pilgrim. They have like stuff like that where like his life bar goes down, and that's one movie that is like kind of like this, where this movie, it could easily overdo it, but it doesn't overdo it, you know?
like the comedy.
Well, no, like overusing the storm clouds, or like, you know,
The style,
style, like the stylization of like the comic bookness. Like, it does it a kind of a bunch in the beginning, but not in a way that's like overbearing.
Yeah, and
And then is like, when it happens, it's impactful.
yeah, it's
rather
very
than like, because that would be something that would be jarring if it was constantly happening. You're constantly breaking away. Because that was one of the things that I was gonna say, is that I guess it kind of was. It's like with having like the meme or whatever, that sort of like integration is like, it kind of fucks with the reliability of the narrator a little bit, where it's like, whose direction of the story are we telling? But again, that's like picking apart little things.
being nitpicky.
Yeah, nitpicky. Picking.
Well, I like this movie a lot, and there are some things I could nitpick about, but they're not coming to the forefront of my mind as the last movie we watched.
Yeah.
Like it's a kids movie, so there's obviously a lot more forgiveness, and it's already just simplified in its nature. But as you were saying earlier, with how you were surprised you had to think about it being a kids movie.
Yeah.
Like it holds up really well for someone to watch, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that those chaotic jokes are very obviously pretty obvious. Like I think it's meant for kids to pick them up, but there are some good layers and like deeper jokes in there. Not like super deep or suggestive or anything, but like, I don't know. There's just things that you would appreciate as an adult or someone who's lived a life.
Yeah.
Instead of like a 6-year-old child who likes flashy, funny things and goofy dogs.
Well, where he was like in his little pod, and he was like, maybe taking users' data being
like
a
that.
monopoly is like, maybe that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, yeah, probably not. Because it is. I think the PAL company is like a combination of
Google, Apple,
it's like it's definitely Google, Apple,
and Facebook.
Yeah, it's all of them at once.
But I think as far as a made up kind of company iOS in a different world. I like it. I think it's like good branding. It's a good name.
Yeah. I thought that was like that because a lot of times it's that the branding is either like too on the nose or it's
What was the one movie? Thank you.
I want to help you, but I can't.
It's the one with the horsecock people.
Okay. Oh, sorry to bother you.
Yeah, it's like in Sorry to Bother You. Like that's too much. Obviously, it's supposed to be a very stylized world.
Yeah, but that was like I would say like that is a poem, and this is a picture book.
Yeah.
Where it's like.
Well, I'm just talking about the kind of the made up social media platform.
Yeah.
Like I like that, and I liked it in this. There's tons of examples, but they're not coming to mind.
But Pal, I can't believe it has it's come up yet. You know,
as a real name,
as a name for like a.
People really stayed away from it, honestly, because of PayPal.
Oh yeah.
The part where the Mark Zuckerberg guy just deep throats sucks in the burrito is so unsettling and just like, oh my god.
I thought that he was gonna be like. No, not like that, but he just went for it. Yeah. Like, I remember seeing that and being like, and he was like, I'm just going to fucking cheap this thing. I'm fucking taking it all the way down, baby.
As this movie's chaotic and we have it in the background, there's going to be a lot of things I see that I'm going to point out.
Especially because there's so many colors, too.
Yeah.
As I'm trying to play footsie with John, John's like, no, not today, bud.
The robot design is also great in this movie. I just like their versatility and their movement.
I like their powers, too.
Yeah, the robot designs are spot on. They're just cool, functional. And then when it comes time to introduce two as kind of characters with some humor, they totally hold their own, and they add so much.
Please remain calm while we capture you.
Yeah. And I like how the voices are kind of robotic, but it's also just not just kind of casual bro talking.
Yeah.
Not bro, mislead.
I mean, it's Beck Bennett and Fred Armisen are the two robots that hang out with us.
Okay.
But I just thought it was, I like their powers where they look cool, and I think it's a clear design choice to have their powers be blue, like they're like essentially matter manipulation, whatever they're doing. It's blue, and I thought that it was like the clever use of keeping it PG-13 and having it be like, hey, we're just going to remove the problem. Like, we're just going to get you out of here.
Yeah.
Instead of killing you guys all or anything like that, and sort of like bypassing any sort of like, but mommy, what if they blah, 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 you know? And it's like, nah, they're not going to kill you. We'll at least be able to figure it out. Just make sure you have your fucking screwdriver with you.
There are some good moments with that said, right off of that, of like serious implied danger.
Yeah.
Like when Katie's going up the vertical road,
but
that's like has a magnetic connection or whatever, and she's got the Manchi in the front, and here she's in the car.
Yeah. And
the magnets fail, and she's falling. And you're also like, I mean, this dog is just out here too. Like,
yeah,
they're fucked. And obviously they fall, and there's some like Deus Machina last minute, but like the stakes are there. Like there's some death. There's death looming for her particularly at moments, which is cool. In the sense of I don't know, like it's not all like a playful sandbox, where no one gets hurt.
No,
no one gets hurt.
Well, there's stakes. You definitely get the sense that, especially because even when they succeed, because that was one of the things that I think they did a really good job of, was having them succeed early, so we got to either see the characters and like kind of grow to where we wanted to see them grow, and that's why I was like, I think it's like 45 minutes in when they succeed at the mall or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, yeah. And we still got another. Okay, what are we doing? Oh, so disappointing.
Yeah. So the little boy and the family, he loves dinosaurs, and it's a pretty good bit throughout the whole thing.
I've been that guy, watching his body outside of the gas station.
Nice.
It's not nice.
I don't know what to say.
It's okay, bud. You don't got to say anything. I'm just letting I've been that person.
Yeah. So
maybe not to his level, but
So the kid's a dinosaur nerd, and there's a dinosaur side road thing, and the dinosaurs just look atrocious. And one of them looks like a Simpson character, and it's so good. And it's like his horror. It's like, oh my god.
And they're like teeth, or they like he's got like, if they've got like teeth, it's got like a face.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was fun. I also liked too that while the like the prototypical family that you like were family were like
Yeah, the neighbors, the Jones.
they weren't bad though. Like
Yeah.
they were just like
Maybe a little stuck up.
and they didn't have like a big character flaw at the end that realized that, oh, we're all the same.
Yeah.
You know, because that's a lot of times they're like, oh, it's a facade on the inside. We're all just hate each other or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like, no, they were just
Still up their own ass.
they were still,
But they were impressed.
but
'cause
they
saw
also
it.
weren't bad people either.
No.
They
Just
were
a little stuck up.
just a little stuck up.
And they're like especially the mom. She's like the hot Instagram mom or something, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like, she's the one making sure their life looks perfect. That's that's a value to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously
You
dumb,
know,
but
and I know that we just talked about this too. Because we just talked about we were talking about Army of the Dead a little while ago.
yeah,
And the difference in, I know this is an animated movie, so it's like almost the other way around, where it's like in the Army of the Dead, we had these two shots. We would have two shots, or we would have one-on-one shots, and the background would be entirely out of focus, where it could have just been green screen, and maybe it was.
yeah,
Maybe that's what they were doing. And in an animated movie, there's so much depth. There's a scene where Katie and the dad are talking, and you can see the mom just out of focus in the background watching them, and she's watching them, and she's like got a thing, and then we cut into her, and it's like we're following it, but we're seeing the end of that scene, and then we go to the mom, and then the mom is there, and then she has her own scene, and we see the son in the background of her scene,
Yeah.
and then we're following it through, and it's like there's depth. And we feel like it's natural movement rather than like quick cuts,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
where
that's a
it's
good
like
point.
we don't.
I noticed the one on the mom particularly,
Yeah.
and it's like your natural eye follows, and then the brain
And then it,
sees something happens that makes sense, in the brain like doesn't have to notice it, but it's like cool. Like it all flows and it feels natural. There's a poetry in it.
and then you also when it goes to her, you're satisfied because you're like, oh, nice, I get to see what she's doing.
Yeah.
You know? There's
And at that point, it's like you're definitely starting to realize, like, oh, I kind of care. I don't know if I care for these characters, but I'm interested in them.
yeah.
Like, they're funny, they're quirky. What are they doing in this situation? They're definitely interesting enough.
Yeah, and I think like kind of going back as we sort of like move through it, it's like they did a good job of.
The joke is the robots are trying to capture people, and they're like, "Who wants fun?" And this guy's like, "I like fun."
like fun.
He's like,
He's like,
"No,
no,
dude,
you don't."
He's
No.
like, "No, like I'm the guy who likes fun." And it's such a stupid joke.
I don't like fun anymore.
But it's so like the comedy of like the Miller guys and these animators are just—it's such a perfect combo.
Yeah.
I thought, like, to me, this hits so well overall.
Well, I don't like that sort of dog really in real life.
The pugs.
I don't necessarily love him, but every time he was on screen, I fucking loved that dog.
Yeah.
I loved that dog. I love that dog so much. I wanted to see him do more stuff. I don't know, man. I fucking loved that dog.
I love the
and I can't imagine. I couldn't.
he is what broke the robots.
So
the dog is like
dog
a fat
bread loaf.
Yeah. No, dog. How was it? There's
Dog pig
Yeah.
bread.
Yeah. Like the dog is just a weird pug creature. It looks like a bean.
Yeah.
And the zombies, and then the zombies, gosh, wrong movie. The robots, they can't register what the hell he is.
That's so
and they
fucking
short circuit
funny.
because they're like, pig, dog,
Bread?
and they break. So then they just strap him on the front of the car, just like driving through the droves of these robots, and they're all shutting down because they can't process what this fucking dog is. And his eyes aren't straight. And I can't remember the moment is exactly, but his eyes straighten out for just the right moment.
Oh my gosh. He's got to do something at the end.
Oh, he's got to catch
He's got to
something.
catch the phone.
Yeah. And he still misses
And he still misses it, but he hits it in the right way.
Yeah, like
And fucking he straightened his eyes out. He's so fucking funny. but that's again, doubling back where it's like they did the breakdown of communication made sense. Like, all right, so like here's the sort of stream where they're having trouble getting together, and then the dad wants to the robot apocalypse happens, and then dad is like, let's run away. He says like, let's run away into the woods or something like that.
Yeah.
And the daughter's like, no, let's save the world. And she like uses inspiring speech and is like, fucking let's go, bro.
Rolls a 20.
She rolls a 20. She does a great job.
And deception.
And
deception.
Well, deception later anyway.
Yeah.
But she does roll she does do inspiring speech, and she everybody gets temporary hit points. But so then they go and they do their mission, they accomplish their mission, but they fail because they have to use the internet. And I liked that too, is they have to use the internet in order to get the kill code uploaded.
Yeah.
And in order for that also opens them up to attack from the fucking smart devices. And so they have to kill the internet to kill the smart devices, so they win, but they also lose because they're not able to upload the kill code.
Can we talk about the Furbies?
And we can absolutely talk about the Furbies.
Like, that was so good. It's just like, you're not ready to see fucking Furbies.
No.
Like, you're seeing like knockoff drones and fridges, just like generic stuff.
Yeah.
And then they go to a toy store and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be I bet it's gonna be some like weird Children of the Corn shit, like creepy baby doll.
Yeah.
And then no, it's just Furbies.
Yeah.
And the Furbies are speaking Furbish, so you're getting Furbies subtitles too, which is, oh my god, it's amazing. I love that. And Furbies scare me.
Furbies are scary.
Do you know about the whole like niche of people that make long neck Furbies?
I do. I also, again, talking about TikTok, is that's where people make Furbies, where it's like
they take the face and make them put on these weird stuffed things.
Yeah, and then also like I've seen worm Furbies. There's a cheeseburger Furby. Again, they make them out of like silicone gel.
Yeah. And
then they pour it, and then it's like on the inside, and it's like, that's weird. There's a dude who made a piano, or he made an organ out of Furbies.
Oh my god.
And it's like, he's like, this kind of like it looks and feels like torture, because they're like bits and pieces of Furbies, and he's got them like tuned to different notes and stuff like that, and it looks so fucking weird. It's Furby orchestra.
Yeah, the big bad then was the giant Furby
who had fucking flame breath or whatever.
Like, did that mean he had that built in? Who built that Furby?
I also love the bit in the middle where they're like, hey, they treat the person like a phone.
Yeah.
Where they're like, swipe, poke, swipe, swipe.
Play music for me.
Play music now.
No other one.
No.
Drop you in the toilet.
Yeah. I did love that. And I think too, talking about the design of the robots, just bouncing all over the place here. It's great stuff here. Yeah. But the design of the robots kind of looking like robots.
Roberts.
Because it does kind of look like a phone. Like their heads kind of look like a phone.
No, it's a great design. I like it a lot, and it's also like if someone were to have a home assistant robot, you would want something non-threatening looking,
soft.
Yeah, and that totally does that.
I wonder if that's a real statistic.
We looked it up, and it's not in the sense that,
talking about the statistic in the middle of the movie where the phone
says 90% of phone calls from mom get ignored.
Yeah.
And it's there's some truth in it, but there's a caveat that a lot of it is young parents calling their kids over and over and over while they're on trips or like out with friends and stuff like that, and kids ignore because they're kids.
Well, and I could also see like what percentage of ignored calls are then returned soon after.
Yeah.
Because that's not included in
because
the
also like if your mom's calling you, I don't think there's anyone in your life that you're close enough that'll forgive you or whatever. You just hang up because you're doing something.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to talk to my mom, but I can't right now. My mom will understand because she's my mom. She'll love me always. I'll call her back.
Or it's just like, oh, I just don't want to answer the phone right now. I don't want to talk on the phone. Or it's like, because if someone calls me, I'm like, ooh, I got to get to a place where I have to talk on the phone. I'm not going to answer this now, but then I'll call you back when I'm like in a place where I can answer the phone.
I think to touch on something besides jumping around,
Yeah.
Is the movie's whole main thing is that creativeness and the parents and the disconnect there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a really interesting topic to explore, particularly as someone who grew up with the internet and kind of figuring how to monetize the internet and having to deal with. My dad understood. My dad's like an early adopter, like D&D guy back in the 80s and stuff. Like he always got that stuff. He got it before I did. But my mom, for example, doesn't understand it fully, and there's that disconnect. And there's not really any issue there, but it's, you do see it though with loved ones and creatives in your life who have parents that don't understand, or maybe they're a little bit more like kind of classic tradesman kind of background or something, where it just doesn't make sense to them, or they're older and the new technology just doesn't make sense. Like that was that, like, that at least a big chunk of the animators and the artists and everyone in this movie, that was something coming from them, their own experiences or some extent, and I think that made the movie feel really honest, and the father-daughter relationship throughout felt so genuine and back and forth,
the
like
parallels.
she fucking hates him, but she also will love the little moment of approval or a little happy moment. She'll take it, and it's fun because it's daddy or whatever, but then it's also like, oh, but he's a dick, he doesn't, like, it felt right. It didn't feel too like teenage, like wishy-washy. Like it just felt like a very complicated and confused relationship.
It almost felt like teenagers writing it, not like if they were to like poll teenagers and be like, well, how's your experience actually? Because they're like, oh, I'm going to get to hang out with people that think the same way as me. Or I'm getting to go do this in college. I'm finally, people saw Brain Fart 6, and like I could talk about Brain Fart 6 with people because my parents don't want to. They don't know why I like Brain Fart 6.
Yeah.
And my brother, he tries, but he's also really into dinosaurs, and he's 6 years younger than me. Or I would say maybe 8 years younger than me.
Yeah, at least 10.
If she's 17, he's probably like 9 or 8.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like to be able to trying to be your own person and figure out your own, like, because that was one of the things that I really liked about Katie, is that feeling of being excited about creating this stupid little thing that you made.
Yeah.
And like, to you, this is a fucking masterpiece because you were able to figure out a fucking L cut.
Yeah.
And be able to have the audio underneath. Like, that's something you figured out on your own, and it like made your edits that much easier or better. An L cut, for those, is whenever you drag either the video a little bit further from one clip onto the audio of another clip, or vice versa, so that you have the audio underneath it. You see it a lot, in anything, because it's what kind of connects up two different clips.
Yeah.
But it's like something that you figured out, and it's a little thing, but to your parent, it's like, this is what you spent 2 weeks on? Okay.
Yeah, well, that's just a general thing where people don't. The obvious one is like a YouTube video, like, oh, it's easy. They don't they see the end product and they think,
talked about this.
Yeah, and they think that's all it is. But people still do that with like full animations and full feature films. I think it's just as easy as standing in front of the camera and shooting insane lines or whatever.
It's got to get lit, buh.
What?
It's got to get lit. You got to get lit. You got to get sound. There's so many things.
Oh, yeah. I thought like get lit.
Yeah,
like
get
420.
lit. Well, no, but
no, like it. I think that's what you're seeing there. Is a lot of that is just a lack of understanding of the process. This movie, that's definitely inferred, and you can pick that up, but it's not like something they're trying to say.
Yeah,
but it's super true. And
I love the little parallels that they hit all the time with the dad and the daughter, where they have, I think they do it 2 or 3 times, where she's like, oh, he just doesn't care, or he's like, I don't care. She's like, I don't care about him, and he's like, I care so much.
Yeah.
Or she's like, he doesn't even want to try to help, and he's like, I want to help.
Yeah.
And I do like that, where it's like, it feels cheesy, but it feels cheesy in a way that's like, that feels satisfying.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of the things like that that this movie hits for me, where it's like, a lot of the stuff is like sort of cheesy or whatever, but it hits right and it feels honest.
Yeah, like I think the joke hitting ratio is very high in this movie for me.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of things fell flat. I honestly don't know if anything did.
Yeah.
Like this movie, I'm not going to say it's objectively very funny, but for me it hit everything. Like it hit very well. And yeah, we're just like, but that's how fun and good the movie is that we have in the background. I'd say this is one of the more like super distracted we've been with a movie because it's just like
it's like
good and it's fun and like you can even see the bits without listening to it and and kind of I'm not giving the video my ranking of the movie my ranking right now, but you know you get an idea with me saying like I do see myself rewatching this.
Yeah.
My girlfriend watched it and I didn't know about the movie, but the way she talked about it, I was like, oh, I want to see that. That sounds fun. She's like, oh, sorry. I mean, I just watched it. And then like 2 weeks later, she's like, you know, I'm ready to see that again, actually.
Yeah.
I really like that movie. And I was like, hell yeah, let's watch it. And I mean, I get that. Like, I want to rewatch this movie at some point, you know? Like, it's a movie where, hey, I'm home with my family or my family's over and we don't know what to watch. And it's like, hey, guys, I know this movie's good. And I'm happy to watch it again.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
I think in terms of like, because we kind of go back to this sometimes when, you know, it's maybe harder to, and I think this is like, be like, oh, is this a good movie or is it a bad movie? And when it's like a movie like this where it's like, is that necessarily the point where it's like, is it fun? But I also think this is a good movie. I'm not saying that, but it's like, is this a good movie and it's also fun? Yeah. You know, and like, even if you're me and it kind of like, I would say that my joke rate, again, if we were to metric, I would love to see what that metric looks like. Like, you know, the joke rate for the Mitchell Report, or not the Mitchell Report, Jesus Christ.
The Mitchell Report? That sounds like something.
You know what the Mitchell Report is?
No.
It's a senator, they did a fucking inquiry into the people that were using steroids in baseball.
Oh,
which,
I had
again,
to guess it was
funny,
a baseball thing.
Which is funny that was connected up because like there's like spin rate and like strike, like, you know, you're
saying words.
Your spin rate, anyway, it's baseball thing.
Oh, well, right, like metrics. Yeah.
You're saying words.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah.
But I would just love to see what the joke rate is. Like, I would like to see what that, like, to see something like that is empirically like creative and objective, like what some sort of like how you break it down and have it be like, here's a metric of this.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like, I saw Freddie Wong tweet.
Okay.
And he tweeted something about like what is TikTok ruining the jokes per minute, like the expectations here. Of Zoomers, like, are they gonna expect a lot of like fast hitting jokes back to back to back? And then someone else was saying like, oh no, like it's a lot about the setup and recurring, and stuff like that. And that's neither here nor there. But this movie is pretty nonstop, and it's fine though. Like I think that's fine. It's fine with me. It's not overbearing. But how much of it I wonder is like, wait a minute, is this because that tweet, Freddie W tweet, is separate from this movie? Yeah. But seeing that and this movie kind of close, I was like, huh, I wonder.
Well, I think
you can maybe relate it to the Lego movies, because those are pretty similar.
Yeah,
and that's also Phil Lord and
but I think
Miller.
But I think too, as far as like what the joke construction is the same joke. It's the packaging is different, and so that's one of the things. Like if we're talking about TikTok and as far as like the joke per minute, it's like it's not necessarily a new funny joke. It's a repackaging of the same joke that breeds familiarity. That like makes you have an instant connection, like I was talking about with the meme, where it's like you go further and further down, and that's what you sort of do with this movie, where it's like it's essentially the same joke, but the packaging is new on it, and it's not like the same joke in the sense that we're hitting the same thing, but it's like we established these character traits, and this follows through with the character traits, like even like the euphoria of being in the mall with the dad with what are you supposed to do with the fishing rod and stuff like that, where it's like, okay, fucking yeah.
And it's all those little like dadisms, like 10 and 12 or whatever it was, or 6 and 12 or something. I don't know.
And it's like, those are, I mean, because again, it's not necessarily, because then, it's there's a lot of jokes. Again, it's like, what constitutes a joke? Yeah. But there's a lot of comedy bits. But they're not they're not unique, but in not being unique, they are special.
Yeah.
Because they all fall within the dad thing. And then when you have something that is humorous that falls outside of the previously identified sphere that you have for this character, then you have it hits extra hard, because then you see that you are breaking the norm. Because if you establish a pattern of jokes within this one sphere for this character, and then you break away and do something that is either normally for another character or that is outside of the realm of possibility for any of the established characters that you have, then this joke is extremely humorous.
That Christopher Nolan just walked in and gave us some comedy input.
Yes, I'm quite good at comedy.
Are you gonna you ever gonna direct one?
Absolutely not. I'm too good at it.
You'd make him. It's for humanity. He's not gonna do it because it'd be too funny.
I would kill you.
Yeah, it would kill you and ruin comedy for everyone else.
There would be no one who would be possibly able to do comedy again.
Yeah. Make everyone retire.
Judd Apatow's like, fuck, dude, he did it the best.
Judd Apatow.
Or imagine if like Paul Thomas Anderson or something like that, who did like There Will Be Blood, like if he's like, I get comedy, and he like fucking, I don't know, that'd be funny.
I do want to see people do different stuff outside of their norm.
You know what?
Like that, or even like not Phil Lord, the guy that did Joker, who did all the Hangover, and he's like the comedy guy.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like that movie, and I don't know whatever about him, but it was cool to see.
Yeah.
Like cool. Okay, you're doing something different. Let's see what you bring to that. You know, and I mean he got that job done, certainly. And he made a functional movie.
Yes, he certainly did make a functional movie, I'd say.
That's like Christopher Nolan's like one of his biggest digs.
This movie was quite functional.
Yeah.
You got it. You delivered it on time. I can't think of that guy's name now. Fuck.
Todd Phillips.
Ugh. Yeah.
He got so like aggro.
He did. He's like, oh, well, he's like, I can't go. Well, that's what he said. I can't go back to comedy anymore because it's too sensitive.
Too PC.
It's like, you're just not good at comedy then.
Yeah, you can't punch up anymore or punch down anymore in comedy.
Oh man.
It is interesting though to watch older comedies.
Yeah. And
just like how different things are. It's wild. Like it feels like it was just yesterday, and even, Funhouse. Like watching their old stuff, like they're saying the R word and like other things of that similar vibe that were fine then.
Yeah.
Like are just making these jokes and stuff, and it's like it's fine, and then like none of those jokes we made today.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you think that the repertoire of what's okay and the narrowing is limiting comedic factors? Or do you think it's just forcing more creativity within the new confines?
I think it's forcing. I mean, I think it's forcing new. I think it's forcing new directions to go.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, it's also like how many times. I don't know.
I mean, we get it. She's got big boobies.
Who?
I don't know. Like that's just like, oh, we get it.
Oh.
He's a skinny dude or he's a fat dude and she's got big boobies and she's hot.
Well, I remember like around Borat, especially amongst teenagers who didn't understand, like the Jew joke stuff like just took off.
Yeah.
And so like, say I'm an edgy kid or who was a kid then and grown up now, I'm like I'm mad I can't get Jew jokes anymore. It's like, how many did you need to hear?
Yeah.
Do you need to keep hearing Jew jokes for 10, 15 years? Like,
yeah.
So like I think there's also a part of that. It's like how often do we need to keep hearing these jokes?
Yeah.
About these certain things, or like even like it had its time and it was questionable then, or it was acceptable then, but now it's not. And it's like either way, you don't need those jokes anymore.
Well, and then there's the difference too between like, what is the like that's one of the talking about with for Dave Chappelle how he quit is because he was like, I don't think people are laughing at my jokes for the reasons because it's like.
Yeah,
because
it's like he said the thing about those people, and I think that's funny.
Yeah, and it's like,
whatever.
Oh, I'm a white dude who's watching on Adult Swim, eating pizza, and now I get to laugh at him being a KKK member, but he's black and he's blind, and it's like, well, wait a second,
there's more to it than that.
Okay, hold on. Why are you? But that's not something that you get to do like as a creator, you don't get to determine how people interpret your material.
No, it's
which is tough because it's like if you're trying to say something,
that's the whole point of art.
Yeah, but it's like if you're trying to say something and it is like even started to bother you. Going back to that, where it's like, and again, I can't think of a good offensive way that someone would take that they would then extrapolate that out larger into the world or whatever. But it's like you could watch that movie and miss the biting criticism of the capitalist structure that we have.
Yeah.
And just be like, yeah, do coke rap at parties or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny because he's black and he can't rap.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
Like that's the joke.
That's the joke.
But that is a part of the joke, but there's also a lot more to it, and not in the sense of the joke. It's more criticizing.
Yeah.
Just the perception or just exploitation even.
But I think and just like going back to your original question was like, I think that for a long time you get mired in that top level of stuff where it's like it's a fart joke, it's a this, and it's easy to make jokes that are either offensive or like the lowest common denominator.
But do you think the people who complain most about how jokes like people are so easily offended these days, people are too sensitive, do you think they're like kind of low-key just admitting that they're not that emotionally intelligent or like that intelligent that they can't comprehend certain humor? They just need that.
Yes.
Well,
because that's the thing for me is like in watching Joker and then listening to Todd Phillips talk about that sort of stuff, it's like, oh, you absolutely don't understand what's going on here. Even in like with his, and again, I'll go back where it's like in Joker, he just fucking leaves the camera. He doesn't have, shut up.
Got your birth control alarm?
Yeah, that's it. That's a bad joke.
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. I remember in college, like all the girls in the suite, they would have their alarms go off.
No, but it's just funny. But like in that movie,
bad, like a not great joke.
Yeah.
Quality wise, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's.
I was like, wait, is that offensive?
I think it's a fun. Yeah. But well,
yeah, so I think
no, hold on, just doubling down. It's like, I guess maybe you could say, I don't know, because you could extrapolate. It's like, maybe are you being sexist or are you calling me a woman or something like that, or like questioning my masculinity or something? And I'm not saying that you were, but it's just like you could extrapolate, and that's about like sort of like perception and stuff. Again, here we are talking about the state of comedy on our podcast about Mitchell versus the Machines.
I think this is a very specific one.
Yeah, but
well, that's all to say. This is a great example of just comedy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, there's the kid, fun, flashy, like, run into dad's butt. He goes flying.
Yeah.
Kind of slapstick stuff. And then there's the chaotic stuff. There's the trendy, memey, kind of quick pace. There's just good jokes. There's the quirky weirdo with the sun of it. They're all weird.
Yeah.
But, like, the raptor claw, I don't know. Like,
I think one of the things is, for this, is all the jokes. Again, jokes is like a very broad term.
Yeah.
But a lot of the jokes are, even if because that's one of the big things is like, is your joke at the expense of somebody?
Yeah.
You know, it's like even the jokes here that are maybe on the expense of somebody, of dad's lack of awareness of technology, or the son likes dinosaurs too much, they're not played as character flaws, or like that is a defect. Like that's a defect in you as a person that you like dinosaurs. And that's one of the things that I think is a big difference. It's like the tone in which that you deliver a joke is important.
So, like,
you know,
we need to watch Pixels.
Yeah.
Just to see. But from my memory of that movie, it's like, nerds.
Yeah.
Like, every joke, that's the joke. And it's,
yeah.
And in here, you know, you have the kid being the dinosaur nerd, and it's celebrated almost. Or but there's comments. Or
but it's like, well, it's like, you know, and they're all a part of it, where they're like, yeah, raptor eyes, or I got pterodactyl eyes. And he's like, ah! And it's like, that's funny. But he's a part of it. And he's like, this is an idiosyncrasy that I have that is that's an idiosyncrasy, but it's not necessarily because a character defect. Like, think about in Wedding Crashers, the Ilsa Fisher character, where it's like it's a defect that she's oversexed and that she's crazy about sex.
Yeah.
You know, and again, they play into that. Or it's oftentimes they play into it's like, oh, it's a defect if you're gay. Especially in those early movies where it's like, oh yeah, like Todd, even the brother again in Wedding Crashers, where it's like
tummy sticks,
you know, where it's like, oh, it's
he
a
ties
defect,
them up.
where it's a deep, but that's the difference is like,
yeah,
if someone's in on the joke, because you can point out idiosyncrasies or flaws, but it's or things that stand out, but it's the tone, it's the direction in which you.
Was Todd Phillips Wedding Crashers?
No, I don't think so.
No, because it totally has his vibe and has
it
Bradley
might
Cooper.
be. It might be.
Well, the thing is, like, my memory of even the Hangover movies is there's some tropes and stereotype kind of humor, but I think there's just also good jokes in there, or just jokes. Like tigers love pepper, they hate cinnamon, like shit like that. Like that, like that's just a good.
But that's just random, and that's great stuff.
Yeah,
but
it's like he could do it.
Yeah.
And I bet it would force a good sense of creativity on him too.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, I don't know. It's tough to. It's just you can't make jokes at the expense of anybody. You know, people. Yeah,
I mean, you can't make people feel small. Like there's any time that you make someone feel ashamed for who they are, that's sad. You know, you don't want to be that person. That could be a child,
and oftentimes
or someone's. You know, it's like someone's kid. Like I don't know, like if you have a kid and you picture them being bullied on the playground, they're having a bad day, and it breaks your heart that they were made to feel small.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, relate it to that always. Even if it's a 55-year-old man, like, or anyone, but it doesn't stop there. Like,
I mean, if you're gonna, like, it's like, if you're gonna make, and that's like a thing, it's like, if you're gonna make fun of someone's special shirt, it's like, think about why they put that special shirt on. Like, why they put their fucking, I don't know, Dragon Ball Z shirt on.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, why they put their Dragon Ball Z shirt on? It's because they like Dragon Ball Z and it makes them feel safe. And it's like, why would you make fun of something for someone that, why would you make someone for something that they like?
And it usually is an insecurity, right?
It's, you know, it's a bouncy thing right there.
Yeah. This is weird, the direction here.
But it's just like, again, and you see it, that's why I think animated movies are so fun to watch with that, is because you never get the sense that any of the, like, because you have to play to kids, and because you know, even the example of the family, the
perfect family,
where it's like they're not necessarily bad people.
Yeah.
You know, they're just different.
Yeah.
You know, and also with like not wiping out the human race and having it be PG, where it's like people away, like just send them away. You're forced into more creative avenues of dealing with those things, because it's like, yeah, we could just Thanos snap them and, like, I don't know, electrocute them, but it's much more interesting to put them in these giant spaceships and shoot them into space.
Get rid of them. It's that simple.
And it's like,
and they got free Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, and I think I've found that for me is like a lot of times whenever you are given limitations, it's good.
Yeah.
Because you're forced to make decisions to be more
within
creative.
the confines. Yeah. Not confines. That sounds restricted, but you know. But I think this movie has a ton of those kind of family moral moments, or just more those moments where it's like, oh, they're kind of preaching to the children or whatever.
Yeah.
But it worked for me every single time.
I
mean, I shed a tear or two throughout this.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely like connected up, especially with Katie, you know, where it's like, oh man, I get you, girl. I get you. And then, I just love, they just got done blowing up the mall, and Mom's like, who would have thought that they would have just randomly hit the router? Can't believe the beam happened to hit the router.
Yeah.
And they're like, that is good self-awareness, because it's within and it's just there a little bit.
Yeah. I think like the British humor is something that is good at that.
Yeah.
And I think that's something interesting too, is that I was a kid, I would watch Hot Fuzz or British humor stuff, and I didn't get it. I was like, this is so stupid. And then I'd turn on Borat or something, or Wedding Crashers or something. I was like, haha, funny.
Yeah.
But as I get older, and I'm not saying
because it very much is like,
I'm not saying I'm smart. I'm smarter than I when I was a kid. That's what I'm saying. And now I appreciate those like the Cornetto trilogy or just I need to watch more British humor.
Yeah, do it.
But I mean, Death of Stalin even.
Oh yeah, so good.
Yeah,
you should watch In the Loop. I think
sure.
I've already told you to watch In the Loop.
Yeah.
Even on this podcast, after you watch Death of Stalin. It was such a fucking good moment whenever Dad put the fucking tire back on. I don't know.
I think it's either a good thing or a bad thing that this movie didn't double down on dad stuff, like dad jokes.
Yeah.
It had it there clearly with this dad, and his like he gave everyone a screwdriver as a family gift, which is.
I fucking love Munchie.
Get a Munchie shirt.
I would love to get a Munchie shirt.
But they don't
free.
double down on the dad. Like he doesn't tell like cringy jokes or.
He's a normal person.
Yeah, he's a normal person.
He's not.
Could it be a funnier movie if he had did some quintessential stuff or like, handshake's my word, I'm blah, 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 right? Just like classic dumb dad shit.
Yeah.
Like, could that made the movie better? I don't know. Maybe it could have made it overbearing. Likely.
Let me ask you a question.
But I do like that was probably a choice. But I've also been listening to Dungeons and Daddies too.
Yeah, I think too.
Which is not a BDSM podcast. Have you listened to this?
I haven't listened to it, but I know that it exists.
It's really good.
I guess I'm like sort of saving it. You know, I've got my podcast that I listen to, but I think that it's I don't know. I like none of the characters. And again, kind of what we were talking about with humor. And
you like none of these characters?
No. I like that none of these characters were caricatures.
Yeah.
Even while being caricatures, like
they're still their own people.
They were still individuals, and like even Dad not doing the dad jokes and stuff like that. Like it's like he still did those, but they were within who he was. Like they were within what he did. He didn't be like, "Oh, hi, hungry. I'm Dad. Nice to meet you."
I think if I have a negative of this film.
Ooh, give it to me.
Is so they have a family camcorder.
Mm.
They have all these old memories, like family memories, like priceless memories, immortalized.
Yeah.
And the dad, there's a moment where the dad's sad, and he's watching them he put them on, so he's watching the tape.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, tape you record over.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. And anyways, Katie doesn't know this. She just grabs her camcorder because it's what she uses, blah, blah, blah. And she's recording over these priceless memories with this stuff. And it's like, oh, making new memories together. But there's like, that sucks. That's sad.
Yeah.
And that there's
I hope they're digitized.
Yeah, and that doesn't go anywhere. And it's just like, that's just kind of sad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's not.
but it's sad if it has no point on the movie or it doesn't come back around. Does it have to? I don't know.
That's not necessarily a negative about the movie.
It's not so much a negative, but like
it's like you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I
feel bad about it and nothing came of it. So then I just like,
yeah.
So am I just here feeling shitty? Thanks, guys. Kind of thing.
But let me ask you a question, especially because this movie has a whole bunch of like voice acting star power. Do you think that makes a difference?
I don't know. I don't like. Did Danny McBride add a whole lot?
Does he? Or like
I don't know.
Because
like I think it could have been anyone that could have done the dad.
Yeah.
It could have been Seth Rogen. It could have been like Jack Patillo from Achievement Hunter. Like I pictured him being the voice actor for some reason, but just seeing the character and knowing Jack's voice, I was like, oh man, that would actually been pretty good.
Is he the dude that we shot?
Yeah.
That's cool. In Red Dead Redemption, not in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, shot with a camera, not a gun.
Shot with a camera.
Is that the dude we shot?
I think we did. We put a squib on him.
Yeah. I tried fighting him, and Christian shot him. Well, listen, speaking of comedy, like you're the dude who cries.
Yeah.
It's like, is that punching down? Because they're making fun of the dude who cries.
Oh man.
I don't think it is.
But so this just because like. Does it matter more? Because Maya Rudolph is the mom.
Yeah, I think.
Does it?
I think it mattered with her.
I guess because all the people that you said were people that you pictured. It's like, is there a world in which it's like? I guess we're always going to picture somebody behind it because it's an animated thing.
I mean, they all did great. Nothing needs to be changed. I think Maya Rudolph was probably the most irreplaceable. And I think in terms like what she added. Abby Jacobson.
Mm-hmm. She played Katie.
Yeah, I like her. I love Broad City. That's good comedy.
Yeah, it is good comedy.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
Where she admits
I fucking love it.
Like she feels like she needs to volunteer the information to fucking Hillary Clinton that she pegs.
Yeah.
She's like, I peg. It's so. I don't know why I think that just stuck out to me because that's Hillary Clinton. Right before she gets elected, and her, this comedian and actor, fucking went for that line.
Yeah.
In front of her.
I fucking love it. But I guess that's
also Lana like having her twin that she's like attracted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just so distracted.
No, you're fine, dude.
Broad City's good show.
Broad City's good show. Highly recommend. Stinky Popcorn Boys, throwing in a recommend. But that's the, like, I guess it's what I'm trying to say is like, is it important to have these voice actors be famous people that you've already seen do this stuff? Because it's like, does it change your perception of Danny, not necessarily of Danny McBride, but of the dad, to see that it's Danny McBride and that you, because it's not necessarily the timbre of his voice, but you even brought up people that you knew and recognized, like Seth Rogen. You know, that's again another famous, you know him personally, but another famous person. And then Jack Patillo of Achievement Hunter, who is not necessarily like a famous like Danny McBride or Seth Rogen, but it's like that's still those are people that are recognizable. So you're making those like sort of like brain connections.
Yeah.
You know, so is that important? Is it? I wonder. I guess if the question is like, is it possible to look at the dad character and not think of a person, and not like have a real person and just be like, this is that voice?
I don't know, because I think the dad of the characters looks the most like I've seen you around before.
Okay.
Or you remind me of someone. But I think you almost I thought you sounded like you were going to say this, but you didn't. But it's like, do we need recognizable celebrities for these kind of films?
That's what I was that's like the point that I'm getting to, where
and I don't think you do.
But I think that I
mean I think it's good work for them, and it's a paycheck for them, and it breaks up their. I mean, again, we've said it many times before, but how many hours they worked on this compared to the animators is nothing.
Yeah. Well, and there's also, I think too, the actors, because animated movies have such a wide audience and they go through so many different places, and they get more money, and it's like continuous than like some other stuff. So like getting an animated movie is like, okay.
Yeah.
Especially if you can be the Dracula in Hotel Transylvania, like fucking Adam Sandler. And it's like, again, I haven't seen
Adam Sandler was probably like, dudes, I got money.
I haven't seen a single one of those
animator.
Movies.
Apparently, I mean, they're good. They have a following.
They have got four of them coming out, or there's a fourth one coming out. But that was just something I was thinking, was like, how, because I think that in some ways it sort of is necessary, because you need to have that automatic connection with the character that you don't get without a famous person.
Yeah.
But also, does it hinder it because you're picturing Danny McBride, because you're picturing Abby Jacobson? I mean,
maybe you have a point there. I don't know.
There you go.
It's a good question. I will think about it.
Yeah, think about it, dude. That's kind of my thing. And then I think that's also, I was like, there's like, is it possible to be a voiceover actor and then like and be in one of these movies and not be famous? You know, because then it's like, then you're like limited.
Yeah.
As a voiceover actor to doing.
It's like, how do you build a career?
Because Danny McBride is gonna get this job.
Yeah.
Instead of you, no matter how good of a dad voice you have. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's all to sell the tickets, I guess, or to, like, I mean, the real reason, or one of the real reasons, or a big reason is, hey, Danny McBride,
Danny McBride,
go on the Tonight Show because you're a big celebrity. Because I'll take you because you're a big celebrity.
Yep.
Then talk about a movie.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
It's absolutely marketing as well.
Yeah. I think wrapping up soon, but I like the hardcore robots, and the head keeps saying "Yes, Queen."
Yeah, that's Blake Griffin.
That is
basketball player.
Okay. I mean, I think the funny thing about this is we've been talking about the good moments of this movie as they're happening in real time because we have in the background. like we could watch this movie for its duration and be like, that's a good moment.
Yeah, that's
I
fun.
love this. Like, it's
That's
fun.
fun. That's cool.
It's sorry if this podcast deviated a little bit in that direction, but it's like, if you watch this movie and you enjoyed it, then you're just here on the ride with us, enjoying it.
Yep.
And reliving it. And if you're not, and you haven't seen this movie and you're still here for some reason, then I hope you feel confident watching it, because I think you'll like it a lot. And we definitely did not ruining a viewing of the movie by how we talked about it at all.
No, I think we talked more about
comedy
and how that works. I do love. Oh, that was something I wrote. Is in my cool stuff is like, I love the fucking Mama Bear shit.
Yeah.
Anytime I see it, I'm like, fuck yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, when she lifts up and saves the robot, even that's like the little first intro of that.
Yeah. And then also like the villain not being swayed by words. Like there's like the kind of the classic at the end.
Yeah, she just doesn't care.
She's like, sweet, cool, I don't give a shit.
Yep. I like that, because you thought it was coming, because she was abandoned. She felt downtrodden.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan will attest to, is like anytime you go outside of what you've set up, because we've all seen where the villain is like, I see your point now, I understand the
especially in children's movies.
Yeah. And it's like to have them lose because of that, and then have to win because
I mean, how do they survive this?
they have to win. I don't know, man.
Like, watch, see?
I guess it's built really well.
So when this
They should
happened,
have had helmets on, though.
when this happened, I was like, I think they died, and we're just living an alternate reality at this point.
Yeah.
Well, quick, super weird retro thing,
it.
thing that the podcast talked about a week ago. I did like in Army of the Dead when Vanderhoe sees all the bodies and like, maybe we're just on a loop here.
I did like that.
Like, that was like, that's dope.
Yeah.
It didn't go anywhere.
It didn't go anywhere, but I did like that.
A cool moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you give this movie?
I give it 4 Manchi paws out of 5.
Oh man.
It doesn't have 5 legs. Otherwise, I would give the movie 5.
Well, I only saw, so I gave him 4 dog cops out of 5 dog cops.
Nice.
Because I only saw 4. You know.
Exactly.
But yeah, I dug this movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I dug this movie. I think this is one of the ones that I kind of got. A lot of times I'll either be really staunch in it, or I'll be able to, or I'll like with Army of the Dead, will like I talked down.
Yeah.
You know, but this one I was like, okay, yeah.
Talked up.
Yeah,
or
talked up
talked level.
Yeah, talked up to a little bit high. But what are you watching? Anything?
I mean, Dungeon Daddies, like I said, it's a podcast, so listening.
No, there you go.
But watching wise, still, I guess, again, not watching, but working on Resident Evil 8 Village.
Okay.
And then also,
I
watched Miracle.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
we'll do a little podcast
talk
on.
about that.
Yeah.
We got the NHL playoffs coming on too.
Yeah. So maybe we'll, if you watch it, because you should watch it if you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
It's good to feel.
I like Kurt Russell.
It's good to feel patriotic.
I've been watching the NBA playoffs. And I watched.
Have you seen that meme? It's like
Probably.
some baseball player got hit by a fastball.
Yeah.
On the ground for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I did see that.
Some other
on the ground for 38
player.
seconds.
Yeah.
Then another Sports Center, and then LeBron James. He got poked in the eye.
8 minutes or something.
That he flopped so bad on that, man. Anyway, I don't know. I don't need to get into it again. I was fucking. But I am also real excited to watch Bo Burnham's special.
Oh.
Bo Burnham has a Netflix special coming out
I
May
didn't know
30th.
That. I saw that man live.
Ugh.
That's sick.
You bastard.
Yeah. I want to see him live again.
I would love to.
He's good. Yeah, maybe if he ever comes to Durham again, we do a little boys trip.
I would love it. Let's do a little boys trip. Play some golf, watch some Bo Burnham.
Yeah, we got tons of fun weekends coming up.
Oh,
I'm gonna try and get season tickets to the Canes.
Oh my gosh, I've never been to a
NHL
hockey game.
They're
We're
fun,
just talking now at the end.
but
of the
it's weird when like at a hockey, like it's the same thing when you go to an NFL game. Like, fuck, the field is short.
I've also never been to an NFL game.
Have you been to like a college football game?
No.
Oh, well, maybe we can go to a Panthers game this year.
Okay,
Cool
this week, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, John's gonna call up the Carolina Panthers. Hey, my buddy's never seen the Carolina Panthers. He's never seen an NFL game. Break one out for us.
Yeah. Call up the Cardinals.
I know you got one of those emergency games in your back pocket. Go ahead and break it out for us, baby.
But that's the thing, like
That's
football,
what
like
John sounds
at football games, the field looks tiny. Like, oh, it's 100 yards.
Yeah.
No, duh.
That's what I having seen NBA games in person.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's just a basketball court.
But it looks big on TV.
It does look on big T, but the thing,
it does look big on TV.
it look big on TV. But what I'll say is, you don't get a sense of how big the players are.
Yeah.
On TV.
Yeah.
You know, because they're all the same size. But like when you see them in person and they're like, oh, that is just a normal size basketball hoop. And then you're like, oh my gosh, Kevin Durant is 7 foot tall and he's moving like that. Holy shit, they are moving so fast.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's fun to see stuff live.
Yeah.
But the hockey, it's like it's so underwhelming because I think the hockey and commentators add so much.
Yeah.
And they're so good at what they do.
Yeah.
And they're probably the best sport commentator type overall. Listening to them. But when that's gone, you just hear like skating and like slapping of the thing. It's just like really quiet, and it's just like it's weird.
Again, I saw AS Roma versus AS Verona when I was in Rome.
Oh, nice.
And that was really fucking cool.
Yeah, because that crowd's in there.
Because the crowd is about it.
Yeah. That's why I was hoping that Raleigh was going to get the MLS team, but I went to Charlotte.
Ugh.
What a tragedy. Anyways, as they say,
as they hit us up. You guys know where to find us. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us about more fucking animated movies you want us to watch or don't. Tell us you're like, hey, we hate it when you talk about animated movies because you get too distracted by the colors in the background.
We don't like cartoons. Cartoons are for kids.
We're for babies.
Yeah.
And as they say in nondescript Eastern town that they're in, come on.
They're from Michigan.
Michigan, as they say in Michigan, hey, go Badgers.
Wolverines.
No, I know.
Okay.
I did it on purpose.
All right, bye guys.
Bye guys, I love you.